good evening. My name is Amit Surana and I am here with the sixth lecture on functions. I understand ये भी थोड़ा सा लंबा चल रहा है, but ये लंबा चल रहा है क्योंकि इसका उतना वर्थ है ना? And what we will look at today would be a little more towards our advanced concept of functions. So I hope you guys have had a great day today, and I kind of hope that I would at least, if not make it better, at least continue with the same vibe that you've had so far, and this does not disrupt anything. Yes, I'm trying to be as humble, as modest as I can. How are you all doing today? Hello, hi, Praveen, Vedant, Ritikesh, Khushbu, Shubhangi, Seema. Good evening, everyone. How are you all doing? I hope you guys have had a great day today. Hi, Shubham. Good evening. So if anyone here is from Maharashtra, Mumbai से पुणे से अगर कोई है तो कंग्रेचुलेशंस, एक और महीने की छुट्टी, एक और छुट्टी नहीं तो चलो घर पे रहने का मौका मिल गया, एक और महीना, मतलब एक और महीना ज्यादा टाइम दे सकते हो प्रिपरेशन के लिए, है ना? Try to look at it in the most optimistic way. You would have more time to give because all your travel would cut down. Yes, no commute to do between your college and your house or your school or whatever. And you would not be forced by your extroverted friends to come out and meet. So win-win situation. Yeah. Superb, Sheetal. Hi, कश, आपका नाम कश है, मतलब एक कश है या काश है? Are you a fantasy or are you a smoker's fantasy? What is your name? कश है या काश है? Hi Vijay, hello. Hi पूर्वे जी. अच्छा विजय गांव में हो? बेटर. अच्छा नासिक से भी हैं लोग. हाय वेदांत. Superb. Nashik is such an amazing place, yaar. Matlab, it's a proper mix. It's a proper mix of both residential and commercial, है ना? It's a proper blend of that. And इतना peace है वहाँ पे. Beautiful place. CET postponed. पक्का क्या? Are you asking me or are you telling me? शुभम आप मेरे को बता रहे हो कि बोल रहे हो? Hi Shilpi, hello. Acha, here is a quick introduction about me. I am Amit Surana. I am a quantitative ability educator here at Unacademy. I am also an aeronautical engineer, but let bygones be bygones. I have over 6 years of teaching experience and I've helped over 2 lakh students achieve their goals or achieve their dreams. I've helped them clear competitive exams and I've also helped them get placed in their dream jobs. If definitely I would want your number to be added there as well real soon. Let's just wait and see. Probably next January के बाद इसमें थोड़ा number और बढ़ेगा, है ना? And I'll make sure अगर एक भी extra होगा ना तो I will write 2 point कितने भी zero होंगे फिर वो 1 में लिखूंगा जरूर लिखूंगा. And please make sure that you share this on your social media platforms. मैं भी बोलता रोज हूँ, आप लोग भी सुनते रोज हो, पर यहाँ से सुनते हो, यहाँ से निकालते हो. I hope इसके बाद का जो मैं बोलूंगा वो यहाँ पे सुन के यहाँ पे रहेगा थोड़ी देर. Our agenda for today is we'll look at what inverse of functions are and we'll deal with a few properties of it. Yes, that is the idea of today. We will look at a lot of examples also. For every property, for every question type, we'll have an example. ठीक है? तो आज जो है अपना बुक, अपना पेन, आपका वाटर बॉटल और अपनी एनर्जी को पास में रखना, हाई में रखना. ठीक है? And if you are someone who has just been introduced to CAT, अगर आपको बैठे बैठे आप सोच रहे थे एक दिन के सर मैं क्या करूं अपने लाइफ के साथ, कोई तो मेरे को बोल रहा था कि कैट डॉग नाम का कोई टेस्ट है वो मेरे को लेने का है ना? If you are one of those guys, then you can definitely crack CAT if take something as serious, as dedicated as this is, right? This is Unacademy Plus platform जहाँ पे you have unlimited access to content, you have unlimited access to live classes, and you have unlimited access to mock tests. Yes, and for a cost that one of these things would probably be sold in this cost. So this is a package of all in all CAT, right? And I'm talking about post CAT preparation also. That is very important, right? लोग क्या सोचते हैं, अच्छा CAT का ले लिया मैंने, CAT का हो गया, अब आगे क्या? CAT अगर निकल गया तो very nice, you would require guidance on your written ability, you would need your guidance on GD and PI. और अगर CAT नहीं तो CAT के अलावा और क्या, right? So we will not only be helping you in the same direction, but we will also help you parallelly as well. That basically means, in other words, we have your back. Yeah. So see if you can consider this. If you want any more information, अगर आपको doubts है जो कि रहते हैं, जो come on guys, we are from the kind of culture that used to respect school only because there was education there, है ना? Or respect an institute because there was education imparted there. तो ऐसे लोगों को अगर if we were to talk to us who have been going to courses, going to institutes and learning, उनको अगर मैं बोलूँ कि नहीं आप घर बैठ के पढ़ सकते हो, they will definitely doubt it. They'd be like, sir क्या real में घर बैठ के पढ़ा जा सकता है? Yes. Now all of you all who are watching this definitely believes in that. Am I right? You definitely believe कि घर बैठ के भी पढ़ सकते. There's no need to go step outside of your house to learn something. Yeah. And this is one of those places where it happens religiously. Yeah. आप देखोगे तो you would be shocked कि कितने सारे educators है, कितने सारे classes है. मतलब आप अगर एक एजुकेटर को भी फॉलो करोगे ना, इतने सारे क्लासेस है कि इस साल का कैट चलो अगले 10 साल का कैट आपका क्रैक हो जाएगा, जो कि आपको करना नहीं है क्योंकि आपका एक में ही क्रैक हो जाएगा और एक में ही आपको अपना ड्रीम बी स्कूल मिल जाएगा. बट आई एम जस्ट सेइंग यस. एंड इफ यू आर अ फाइनल ईयर ग्रेजुएट, if you are about to graduate in 2020, or if you are working right now, then this is the perfect package for you. 12 month ka package that is less than 1500, and if you use my referral code Surana Live, this will even drop down. Yeah, the price of this would be somewhere a little over 15,000 for 12 months. 15,000 for 12 months. आप मैथ करिए, आप अपना कैलकुलेटर अच्छा छोड़ो, 15,000 by 12 के लिए क्या कैलकुलेटर करोगे आप, है ना? बट देखिए इतने से में आपको इतना सारा मिल रहा है, right? You can definitely be the judge for yourself. You can find out from other places के बाहर कितना कितना चार्ज हो रहा है और इन सबको मिला के यहाँ पे कितना चार्ज हो रहा है. ठीक है, I will definitely want you to talk to a few of the people who have already subscribed. ठीक है, जो ऑलरेडी प्लस पे हैं, आप उनसे बात करके देखिए, आप उनसे पूछिए कि कैसा एक्सपीरियंस है. विदाउट रिव्यूज आप रेस्टोरेंट तक नहीं जाते, है ना? आप जो है यू डोंट स्टेप आउटसाइड. अच्छा रेस्टोरेंट का बात नहीं छेड़ना था मेरे को, आई अंडरस्टैंड, बट I would want to let it out in open. So if a restaurant you cannot trust without the reviews of its customers, तो फिर ये तो बहुत बड़ा, this is more important than just French fries and burgers, right? So get in contact with a few of them. If you think you would want to talk to a few of them, मेरे को मैसेज करो, I'll get you connected with them. उनसे बात करो, उनसे पूछो कि इसका क्या बेनिफिट है कि नहीं है, कितना है, क्या इंटेंसिटी है, उसका मैग्नीट्यूड क्या, सब आप जज करो, and then you can decide on your own. ठीक है? And this is a quick update on the new timings, guys. This is the new timings. बॉबी मैम होंगे 7 to 8, मैं लूंगा 8 to 9, आशीष सर लेंगे मेरे बाद में 9 to 10 और प्रतीक सर लेंगे आखिर में 10 to 11. This is from 1st of July, that is from Wednesday. Now let's get on with what we are here for. Yes. Hi Sunil, hello Shubham, good evening Akshay. अच्छा शुभम आप पूछ रहे हो मेरे को, I haven't gotten a chance to check the notification, but I'll definitely check and let you know in the group that we have. ठीक है, चलो let's get in touch with what inverse of a function is and let's talk about this in detail. Yeah, now inverse of a function is completely different than inverse of a term or inverse of a number. That basically means what? Inverse of a term does not mean, तो inverse हम ऐसे लिखते हैं, f to the power -1, मतलब फंक्शन का इनवर्स है, पूरा डेफिनेशन का इनवर्स नहीं है, समझ रहे हो आप? फंक्शन का इनवर्स है. दिस इज नॉट द सेम एज, लुक एट दिस इज नॉट द सेम एज 1 by f of x, नहीं. यस, पूरा इनवर्स नहीं है, पूरा डेफिनेशन का इनवर्स नहीं है. यस, सो इनवर्स ऑफ अ फंक्शन, my bad, inverse of a function is not the same as inverse of the entire definition. मतलब ये this is not equal to 1 by f of x. 1 by f of x is literally the reciprocal of the definition, है ना? But यहाँ पे क्या है? Inverse. That basically means यहाँ पे, right? So this is the operator, right? This is where the function does the operation. Yes, you put your input here, you put x here, you would get y out of this. Yeah, so an inverse of a function works the other way around. That is, if you put y from here, you should get x out of this. Are you getting this? Yes, so that's the inverse of a function. Now a condition for an inverse of a function to exist, if and only if a function is bijective. Can you quickly tell me what is bijective? Yes, bijective का क्या मतलब है, थोड़ा देख के बताइए, सोच के बताइए, देखना कहाँ है, सोच के बताइए. कवलजीत, डेफिनेटली मटेरियल होगा ना, डेफिनेटली मटेरियल होगा. मटेरियल विल नॉट जस्ट बी इन फॉर्म ऑफ पीडीएफ्स, बट यू विल हैव द डेटाबेस ऑफ एंटायर क्लासेस ऑल टुगेदर, है ना? तो डेफिनेटली मटेरियल है. that's the main thing that we are working on, content. yes, super. प्रियंका मैं आपको मैम दिख रहा हूं, प्रियंका मैं आपको मैम दिख रहा हूं. I don't know what else should I do to ensure that people don't confuse me with anyway, yeah, correct. Divya and Divyanshu, very nice. If a function is both 1 and onto, yes, what do you mean by 1 function? A 1 function is if every image of f, every element of a should have one unique image. Yes, this is 1. And what is onto? Onto is if there is no image in B that does not have a pre-image. Yes, this should not be there. तो ऐसे function को हम bijective functions बोलते हैं. और ये क्या है? This is the condition to be able to find out a inverse. Yes, अगर किसी function का inverse ढूंढना है, if you want to figure out what the inverse of a function is, then you need to ensure if that function is bijective or not. Yeah, cool. Now what you have to keep in mind here is with inverse there are a few rules, a few let's not call them rules, let's call them properties. Yes, which you can use and which will be used in some of the questions also. So let's talk about our first property. Inverse of a bijective function is a bijective function. That basically means what? That basically means if f of x, yes, if f of x follows being both 1 and onto, that means the inverse of this particular function, would also be both 1 and onto. Yes. Now how do you check that? चलो एक example लेके देखते हैं. ठीक है, let's take an example and check. Let's say that f of x is equal to 2x. This is the basic example to understand this. Yes, if f of x is 2x, then can we, so how do we check if a function is 1 or not? Yes, we know the condition for 1 क्या है? अगर f of x1 is equal to f of x2, तो क्या होता है? x1 should be equal to x2, है ना? अच्छा, what I'm writing is being hidden. ठीक है, let me do this here. I'm sorry, for once I had forgotten कि मैं भी हूँ picture में. Yes, so f of x, let's say f of x is 2x. Yes, how do we check if it is 1 1 or not? So if you find f of x1 and equate it to f of x2, that means two different elements from the domain, if they are equal, if the functions the functional value, the output is equal, then x1 should be equal to x2. Yes, so let's check. 2 times x1 is equal to 2 times x2. That basically means 2 cancel हो गया, मतलब x1 is equal to x2 है ना. That means this is 1 1. और ये on to है कि नहीं है, कैसे चेक करेंगे? How do we check if this particular thing is on to or not? So if I equate, if I say y is equal to 2x, then in that case x becomes equal to what? Y by 2. So can I say for every value of y there will be one unique value of x? आप y में कुछ भी assign anything to y, assign y to any value, there will be a unique value for x, है ना? Yes, that basically means this is also an onto function. Yeah. Now the inverse of this should also be what? Both onto as well as 1 1. So let's look at 1 1 first. So inverse क्या होगा? What is the inverse? Okay, first things first, how do you identify the inverse of a function? Yes, so if I say that f of x is equal to y, which is equal to 2x, तो inverse क्या हो जाएगा? f negative x is nothing but, f inverse of x is nothing but what? अब y को you will write x in terms of y. That means now 2x would be equal to y, or x would be y by 2. That basically means if I were to find the inverse of this should be equal to what? X by 2. समझ में आ रहा है आपको? Yes, so this is the inverse. So let's check in this case if the inverse is also 1 1 or not. So f inverse of x is what? X by 2 है ना? F inverse of x is x by 2. तो यहाँ पे f inverse of x1 and f inverse of x2 equal है, तो क्या हो जाएगा? x1 by 2, x2 by 2, x1 and x2 equal. That means this is also bijective. I mean 1 1. And onto कैसे check करेंगे? Same thing. Yes, you would do what? Y would be equal to x by 2. That means x would be equal to 2y. For every y there is a unique x. है कि नहीं? For every value of y there will be a unique x. You can look at the function and say. तो ये दोनों 1 1 भी है, onto भी है. So this is just for us to prove this particular property. Yes, that if the given function is both 1 1, that is it has unique elements have unique images, and if we say that they are onto, that means there are no images that does not have any pre-image. Yes, तो उसके inverse का भी same scene है. Got it? Injective and surjective दोनों होना चाहिए. तो एक example देखते हैं. Yes, let's move on to an example. Try this one out. Let's see if you can understand what we have spoken. और अगर नहीं समझ में आए तो अब इस example के through समझ में आ जाएगा, है ना? Also, cheers to everyone who has made it to the 3rd month of your preparation. Congratulations. No. Belind is always strong, but not always right. Alright, so what do we have to check? If the inverse of the function f of x is equal to minus 9x by 2 bijective. Yeah, how would you check this? पहले ये function bijective है कि नहीं है? Is this function bijective or not? If this function is bijective, तो definitely इसका inverse भी bijective है ना? So you don't even have to check for the inverse, you just check for the given function. Is this bijective or not? So first let's check if this is 1 1 or not. How do you do that? F of x1, you equate it to some other element in the domain. So what would happen? Minus 9 times x1 by 2 is equal to minus 9 times x2 by 2. Definitely what do you get? That x1 is equal to x2. That means this is 1 1. तो given function जो है अपना 1 1 है. Yes. Now for the second check, we'll have to check if this is on 2 or not. Yes. So what would you do here? You know that y is equal to minus 9x by 2. Yes. Or in other words, minus 9x is equal to 2 times y, or x is equal to minus 2y by 9. That means for every input, that every image that you take, or every value from the range that you put in, there will be an imager, or every value from the codomain. Yes, onto function में क्या है? Codomain और range should be equal to each other, है ना? Onto function में इसमें क्या है? For every input of y there will be a unique x. Yes, तो ये onto भी हो गया. So this is both 1 1 and onto, मतलब इसका inverse. If f of x is bijective, so f inverse of x will also be bijective, and you don't even have to check. Yes, got this? By the way, what will be the inverse of f of x? Anyone? Inverse of f of x क्या होगा? F dash f inverse x would be how much? Anyone? So you know for a fact that here, if we write this as y equal to minus 9x by 2, then you know that x would be equal to what? Minus 2y by 9. Yes. तो इसका inverse क्या हो जाएगा? Y would be equal to minus 2x by 9. What's the inverse here? Minus 2x by 9. Got this? हाँ दिव्यांशु, yes you can, but अभी ग्राफ की तरफ चल नहीं रहे हैं. Yes, you can also just look at the given function का definition देख के आप you can decide that. ग्राफ में भी कर सकते हैं, but अभी क्योंकि हमने अभी तक ग्राफ टच नहीं किया तो we are doing it as algebraically as possible. ठीक है, चलो super. Alright, try this one out real quick. This is just an extension of the previous one. The definition of the given function is different. फटाफट से try करके बताइए. Is g of x, that is equal to f inverse x, bijective or not? यहाँ पे f of x दे रखा है 3x cube plus 2. Would this be bijective or no? So f of x is given to us as what? 3x cube plus 2. Yes. Is this bijective or no? Super. Satyam, Ritikesh, very nice, very nice. So how do you check? 1 1. F of x1 should be equal to f of x2. That is what? 3 times x1 cube plus 2 should be equal to 3 times x1 cube x2 cube plus 2. Yes. तो यहाँ पे क्या हो जाता है? We know that x1 cube is equal to x2 cube. That means if I take cube root on both sides, I will have x1 being equal to x2. Yes. अब यहाँ पे दिक्कत कहाँ पे आएगा? ऐसे में दिक्कत कहाँ पे आएगा? When you have even exponents. Yes, जब अगर even exponents है, then they may not be equal. Why? Then you can have, just giving you an alternative, इन अ पैरेलल यूनिवर्स अगर ये 3x स्क्वायर प्लस 2 होता तो क्या हो जाता है यहाँ पे x1 could be equal to negative x2, negative x1 could be equal to x2, negative x1 could be equal to negative x2 is also possible, है ना? तो I can eliminate all of this. That basically means what? x1 equal to minus x2 is also possible and x1 equal to x2 is also possible. That means under not under all situations would it be equal, है ना? So this is definitely a 1-1 function, or you can tell it by the looks of the function that it's also an onto function, है ना? So this is both 1-1 and onto. Onto का कैसे check करोगे? You can definitely use graphs for it, but अगर because now we haven't dealt with graphs yet, so direct we will use algebra. Yeah, so what would you get here? You would get 3x cube is equal to y minus 2, or x cube is equal to y minus 2 by 3, or x is equal to y minus 2 by 3 का cube root. तब आपको पता है यहाँ पे for every unique value of y that I put in, I will get a unique value of x. Yes, for every unique image that I put in, I will get a unique pre-image of it. Yes, that means this is also onto. Got this? Chalo, now it's time for us to talk about the second property. What's the second property? Inverse of a bijective function is unique. Inverse of a bijective function is what? Unique. And what do you mean by that? What do you mean by inverse of a bijective function is unique? That basically means that the inverse function must definitely be bijective. Yes, must definitely be 1-1. Try करके देखते हैं. That basically means that f of x अगर है तो उसका inverse will be only one single value. Yes, this cannot have this or this or this. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. This can't happen. So let's try an example and then make this clear for us. Yeah. So here on the screen an example for our second property. Find the inverse of the function f of x is equal to 2x square plus 3. What is the inverse of this particular function? F of x is equal to 2x square plus 3. Quick, anyone? Anyone answer to this one? बहुत simple question है, बहुत ही simple question है. Requires nothing here. Answer for this one, anyone? Okay, Harika and Divya say A. All right. Divyanshu says A. ठीक है. Okay, let's try this out. सब A बोल रहे हो, इनवर्स ढूंढना है. अच्छा, पहली बात ये बताइए, ये फंक्शन है कि नहीं है? Is this a function or no? F of x is equal to 2x square plus 3. अभी तो बात करी थी हमने इसके बारे में. 1-1. Yes. अच्छा ठीक है, पहले इनवर्स ढूंढ लेते हैं डायरेक्ट. Let's find out the inverse of this. What would be the inverse of this? Yes, f inverse of x ढूंढना है पहले. ठीक है, so we know y is equal to 2x square plus 3. That means 2x square is equal to y minus 3, or x square is equal to y minus 3 by 2, or x is equal to square root of y minus 3 by 2. Correct? हाँ, वही तो हारिका. Exactly. सब रिट्रैक्ट कर दिए. पीछे देखो सब रिट्रैक्ट एक करके. हैं? Square. Yes, that means ये प्लस भी हो सकता है, ये माइनस भी हो सकता है. That basically means this function itself is not what? Bijective. Yes, this function itself is not bijective. ये तो आपको you should have figured that out by this even power, but anyway. This is not bijective. That basically means इसका inverse नहीं निकल सकता. Right? Its inverse does not exist. Yeah, does not exist. Grammatical error on YouTube, too bad. So what's my answer? D. None of these is the inverse of the given function. Why? Because the given function itself is not bijective. That means the inverse of it would not exist at all. I'll give you a quick check to try out if the inverse is right or not. Yeah. You know what the check is? If you find out f of f inverse of x, हम इसको ऐसे लिख रहे थे ना कल, this should be equal to x always. F of f inverse of x should be equal to x always. Got this? This is a very nice way to check if the function that you've received is the inverse of the given function or not. Yes. समझे क्या guys? So what is the inverse? The inverse here would basically become y equal to, or f or inverse of x is equal to plus or minus x minus 3 by 2. Yes. तो आपको दोनों केसेस में क्या मिलेगा? x तो मिलेगा, but then this isn't a bijective function. So our base criterion itself is not satisfied. ठीक है? Okay, now this one. Try this one out. Lakshmi, repeat the previous part. I'm saying the given function itself is not a function. Yes, this itself is not a function. Got this? And it's not a bijective function. Yeah, let's forget about being a function or not. It's not a bijective function, that we know for sure. Why? Because if I put in a unique value for x, there will be multiple, right? If I put in two different values of x, there will be the same image. x को अगर मैं 1 लूंगा तो भी I will get 5. x को अगर मैं -1 लूंगा तो भी I will get 5. That basically means two elements from the domain are casting the same shadow on the range, same image on the range. That shouldn't happen. Got this? Yes. So what's my answer? None of these. All right. Try this one out. If f of x is equal to x cubed minus 64, what's the value of f inverse of x? Find out the inverse of f of x. My bad. F inverse of x. Inverse of f of x is wrong, because when I say inverse of f of x, what I mean is find f of x and then take inverse of it. Matlab 1 by f of x. That basically means this will be 1 by x cube minus 64. That's not what is asked. Okay, Vijay, Ritikesh, Dikshit say D is the answer. And everyone else after them as well. Khushbu, Harvinder, Divya and Divyanshu all say D. Very nice. F of x हमें पता है, तो I'll tell you a quick way to find out the inverse. ठीक है? Quick way to find out the inverse. If you have a constant in the function, ठीक है? अगर function में कोई constant है, तो उसका you will take what? Negative of it. Yes, so this is minus 64, uska negative is plus 64. That basically means what? One of these two could be my answers. Yes, mera constant should be positive. So either 4 plus something or this. Yes, ये तो पूरा ही negative है, तो that's out of question. But let's not take any risk here. Let's try to find it out directly. ठीक है? So we know y is equal to x cube minus 64. Or in other words, x cube is equal to y plus 64. Taking cube roots both sides, I will get what? X is equal to cube root of y plus 4. Correct? Is this correct? No. पूरा का cube root निकलेगा, है ना? The entire term's cube root. So what's my answer? Option D. Yes. Got this? Cool. So now let's discuss what our third property is. If f and g are inverses of each other, that means what? If f of x is equal to g ka inverse and g of x is equal to f ka inverse, that basically means that f of g would be the same as g of x. मतलब क्या? f of g of x, क्योंकि x लिया है हमने यहाँ पे वेरिएबल, this should be the same as g of f of x. Yes, तो ये क्या है? What is this? Composition of the functions, है ना? The reason why we had done this earlier itself, ताकि हम ये वाला property आराम से समझ सकें. Yes, so we already done the composition of functions, so now we know what f of g of x is and what g of f of x is. Normally it is not supposed to be equal to each other, but it is only equal when each of them are inverses of each of the others. Got this? चलो एग्जाम्पल ट्राई आउट करते हैं, समझते हैं इसको आराम से. क्वेश्चन में क्या पूछा गया है? If f of x is 4x minus 2 and g of x is x plus 2 by 4, then what is f of g of x? Find this out. Quick, guys. Anyone? इसका आंसर? So normally what would we have to do to find out f of g of x? I'd have to do f of, फिर g of x लगाऊंगा, that is x plus 2 by 4. Yes, फिर x के जगह पे मैं f of x में x के जगह पे मैं I'll put this, so this should be equal to what? 4 times x plus 2 by 4 minus 2. So this would be equal to what? This gets cancelled out. X plus 2 minus 2, that basically means x. Yes, superb. Everyone who said C, x is correct. But if you have actually used their definitions, to identify that f of g of x is equal to x, you didn't have to do that. Do you know why? Because यहाँ पे हम क्या करेंगे, यहाँ पे basically this is a very good introduction to our last property also. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे क्या है, we know that, look at the expressions, look at the given definitions of the functions. 4x minus 2 का inverse करोगे तो क्या हो जाएगा? minus 2 का plus 2 हो जाएगा, into 4 का by 4 हो जाएगा, x plus 2 by 4. So this is clear that f of x is nothing but the inverse of g of x. Yes, समझ में आ रहा है आपको यहाँ पे? No, sorry. Yeah, or you know what, that inverse of f of x is the same as g of x, है ना? These two are inverses of each other. So when they are inverses of each other, that basically means what? F of g of x is nothing but f of f inverse of x. तो हमने पहले बोला था, देखो, we had spoken about this already, that if you find out the function of the inverse of the given function, I should always be equal to x. So you don't really have to solve, you don't really have to do all of this. Just by figuring out if the given function, you don't have to do all of this. Just by figuring out if the given functions are inverses of each other or not, you know that f of g of x would be the same as g of f of x, which is nothing but x. Got this? इसमें कोई confusion है क्या किसी को? They are inverses, तो आपको ये पूरा solve करके देखने की जरूरत नहीं है. You can just by the looks of the given equation, definitions, you can understand that. Yes? Got this? Yes? Sure. Another one, quickly try this one out. Try this one out. They want us to find out what g of 2 would be. What is g of 2? There is no direct definition of g, but what is given to us, that f of g of x is the same as g of f of x. Yes. Ha, Harsh works for all of those. But we will talk about all these functions in time to come. Talking about these functions without the help of graphs would not make any sense. Yes. Quick, any answers to this one? Find g of 2. Let me rewrite the given definition of f of x is 1 plus 9x over 4 minus x. Yes. Okay, Dikshit says D. Okay. Harika says C. All right. Anyone else? So for you to find what g of 2 is, you need to know what g of x is. And by this you have understood that these are what? These are inverses of each other, है ना? So g of x is nothing but the inverse of f of x. So let's first work on finding out what inverse of f of x is. Yes. तो यहाँ पे क्या करेंगे? Y is equal to 1 plus 9x by 4 minus x. Take this to the other side, you get 4y minus xy is equal to 1 plus 9x. Bring all x's to one end. Yes. क्या हो जाएगा? 4y minus xy minus 9x is equal to 1, or I can ये इसको वहां पे लेके चले जाता है. What would we get? We would get minus x times y plus 9, yes, would be equal to 1 by 4y. Sorry, 1 minus 4y. My bad. 1 minus 4y. Yes. Got this? Now what do we need? We need to find out x in terms of y. So minus x would be equal to 1 minus 4y by y plus 9, or in other words x would be equal to what? Minus of this, that is 4y minus 1 by y plus 9. Got this? Yes, this is the inverse of it. So we have written x in terms of y, but the actual inverse of x would be what? F inverse x would be equal to 4x. The variable would be the same, 4x minus 1 by x plus 1. Yeah. तो अब हमें क्या ढूंढना है? We know this is equal to g of x, है ना? इसमें g of 2 ढूंढना है. G of 2 would be equal to what? 4 times 2 is 8. 8 minus 1 by 2 plus 9, which is 7 over 11. Answer is option C, 7 over 11. Yes. Dikshit, definitely Dikshit. It is useful. Got this? So we've gotten the answer to be what? 7 over 11. Yeah. So this particular property helps us understand what? Understand that these are inverses of each other. Yes. Are we good? आगे बढ़े? चलो, here's our last property. This is something that we've already introduced it. Yes. Inverse of the inverse of the function is the function itself. Yes, inverse of the function itself, the variable itself. Yes, that is what? F inverse of x is the same as x. No, is the same as the function itself. Correct. That also makes sense. Yes. If you find out the inverse of a given function, फिर उसको वापस inverse ढूंढोगे तो you'll get the definition of the function itself. Yes. For example, let's take a very simple one to explain this. Let's say f of x is equal to same. ठीक है. दूसरा ले लेते हैं x plus 2. ठीक है. So what would be f inverse of x in this case? F inverse of x क्या हो जाएगा? So y is equal to x plus 2. That means x is equal to y minus 2, or in other terms y is equal to x minus 2. Got this? यहाँ पे क्या होता है, जो भी कांस्टेंट है उसका नेगेटिव. Yes. Now इस पे अब अगर वापस हम इनवर्स लगाएंगे, let's inverse this again. That means what? Let's call this y is equal to x minus 2. Let's write x in terms of y again. What would you get? Y plus 2 again. तो inverse of inverse क्या हो गया? F inverse of the given variable is what? The given function itself, that is x plus 2 itself. समझ में आया guys? So inverse of an inverse is nothing but the definition of the function. Try this one out real quick. Anyone? इसका आंसर? Sorry. हाँ. F inverse of 5. Hi SK, hello. F inverse of 5 is nothing but what? कुछ सोचने की जरूरत नहीं है. This is nothing but f of 5. Yes. All that you have to do is identify what f of 5 is and you are done with it. Yeah, ध्यान में रखना, this is not f inverse of 5 का inverse. No, this is not what this is. Yes, तो f of 5 निकालेंगे, आंसर निकल जाएगा. That's it. What is f of 5? 19 times 5 minus 64. What's 19 fives? 25 is 100. That means 95 minus 64. That's nothing but 31. Positive 31. Option C. Got this? Please remember, the question is not. Question में ये नहीं पूछा है कि f inverse of 5 क्या? F inverse of 5 नहीं पूछा है. They have asked what f inverse का 5. Got it? चलो एक और quick. If G is equal to F inverse and H is equal to G inverse, then what is the value of H inverse of 5? H inverse of 5 पूछा. Quick, what would be H inverse of 5? Anyone? H inverse of 5. So H inverse of x would basically be how much? You know, H is G inverse. So G inverse ka inverse is what this would be, right? So H inverse is what? G inverse ka inverse. That's nothing but H inverse is equal to G, and G is what? F inverse. So you basically have to find out this should be equal to what? F inverse. है ना? You basically have to find out what is F inverse of 5. तो पहले F inverse of x निकालिए, आंसर निकल जाएगा. Yes. What is F inverse of x? F of x is 12x. That means y is equal to 12x, or x is equal to y over 12. If we write the inverse, F inverse of x would be how much? X by 12. So F inverse of x, that's nothing but H inverse of x is how much? 5. Is how much? 5 by 12. तो अपना आंसर क्या है? ऑप्शन डी, 5 by 12. Got it? दिव्यांशु, शुभम, क्लियर है क्या? या सुपर. तो दिस इज इट, ये अपना आज का होमवर्क क्वेश्चन, होमवर्क नंबर 1. टेक अ स्क्रीनशॉट ऑफ दिस रियल सून एंड आई वुड डेफिनेटली नीड द सॉल्यूशंस. मेरे को सॉल्यूशन भेजना आप लोग. दिस इज माय टेलीग्राम. अगर ये नहीं आया, ये समझ में नहीं आया, तो भी हम डिस्कस करेंगे. ठीक है, स्क्रीनशॉट ले लो और मेरे को टेलीग्राम पे भेजना जरूर. ठीक है, सही आया गलत आया दैट सेकेंडरी, बट सेंड इट. राइट, हो गया? स्क्रीनशॉट ले लिया आप लोगों ने? थोड़ा हंस लेता हूं, अभी ले लीजिए स्क्रीनशॉट. नहीं, ये बहुत बहुत गंदा लग रहा है. ठीक है, ये लो सेकेंड होमवर्क. ये भी भेजना. अगर सोल्यूशन भेजते हो गाइस, अगर सोल्यूशन भेजते हो तो साथ में क्वेश्चन भी भेजना. आप लोग क्या करते हो पता है? अब आउट ऑफ नोवेयर यू सेंड अ मैसेज सेइंग बी. कुछ भी नहीं, हाय सर, हेलो सर, कैसे हो, जिंदा हो, मर गए, कुछ नहीं, बी. और बी का मैं क्या करूं? या तो थोड़ा थोड़ा कुछ कॉन्वर्सेशन करो, फिर ये सोल्यूशन भेजो. या सोल्यूशन भेजो तो फिर इसका स्क्रीनशॉट भेजो, ताकि मेरे को पता चले कि क्या चल रहा है. ठीक है, यस. सो दिस इज द एंड ऑफ आवर सेशन, है ना? ये वाले, ये दोनों मेरे को भेज देना, होमवर्क 1 होमवर्क 2 का दोनों का सोल्यूशन भेज देना मेरे को. यस. और ये क्विक अपडेट ऑन द टाइमिंग. अच्छा, निकलने के पहले, अच्छा मेरे को पता है आप लोग निकलने वाले हो अभी. ठीक है, निकलने के पहले लाइक करना मत भूलना. ठीक है, डोंट फॉरगेट टू हिट लाइक ऑन दिस वीडियो बिफोर कल्टी मारने के पहले. या But a quick update on the new timings. Bobby ma'am's classes would be from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. on July 1st. From July 1st, my classes would be from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. After that, Ashish sir would take a class from 9 to 10, and then Pratik sir would take a class from 10 to 11. ठीक है, this is an update on the new timings. अगर ये आपको नहीं याद रहेगा कि सर मेरे को कोई रिमाइंड करने वाला हो तो अच्छा होता. तो this is the place. Get yourself added to our community on Telegram. यहाँ पे सारे आपको जो है notifications on the classes you would keep getting. If you require any notes, yes, सारे notes एक ही जगह पे PDFs में available हैं. And we also have what? Any other information that would be soon be started sharing, we'll start sharing them there. Cool. And anyone who is planning on taking CAT preparation seriously, or anyone who would want to try this out, कि सर पहले थोड़ा try करके देखता हूँ, मेरे को I'm not very sure, I'm a little skeptical, मेरे को थोड़ा सा doubt आ रहा है सर, I'm not very sure of this because I've never done online education, I've never paid for online education. ऐसा अगर कोई सीन है आपका तो feel free to talk with us, क्योंकि यहाँ पे live classes जो यहाँ पे regularly YouTube पे चल रहे हैं, उससे ज्यादा इंटेंसिटी में चलेगा वहां पे, because there literally is a place where there's so many educators taking so many classes, taking so many live classes, free classes, so many practice classes. मतलब आप सोचो if you are someone who wants to invest in, let's say invest in a book for practice, उसकी आपको जरूरत पड़ेगी नहीं. क्यों? क्योंकि इसी में प्रैक्टिस क्लासेस भी होते हैं. मतलब क्लासेस मेंट ओनली टू प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चंस. तो आपको क्वेश्चंस मिलेंगे, साथ ही साथ उनके सॉल्यूशंस मिलेंगे, एंड यू विल आल्सो गेट अ चांस टू टॉक टू योर एजुकेटर इफ यू हैव एनी डाउट्स इन दैट. आपको कुछ समझ में नहीं आया, या आपको कुछ शॉर्टकट चाहिए, या आपको ये वाला कॉन्सेप्ट उस समय समझ में नहीं आया, तो लाइव ऑन द स्पॉट वो आपका क्लियर हो जाएगा. वही बुक में देखिए आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा. Probably in the third or the fourth page you will have your question. You will have to roll all the way to 364th page for the solution. Yes, मतलब की के लिए आंसर की कौन सा ऑप्शन सही है. फिर again you will have to roll to a 10-15 pages behind to find out the detailed solution. Detailed solution सिर्फ नाम का डिटेल होता है, उसमें डिटेल होता ही नहीं है, right? That's probably 1 or 2 lines. उसमें अगर आपको कुछ समझ में नहीं आया तो क्या करोगे, है ना? तो यहाँ पे on the other hand, यहाँ पे when there is supervised practice going on, that basically means what? अगर आप कोई गलती कर रहे हो तो आपको immediately पता चलेगा, आपको ऐसे 10 जगह घूमने की जरूरत नहीं है. Yes, and live polls, leader votes जो बताता है ना, right? It actually shows where you are with respect to your peers, your competitors. मतलब आपको definitely पता चलेगा कि आप कहां पे हो अभी के स्टेटस के हिसाब से। और टेस्ट सीरीज के बारे में तो मैं बोल बोल के थक गया हूँ गाइस। यू हैव टू, आई डोंट नो, आई हैवंट बीन स्पीकिंग विद अ लॉट ऑफ यू गाइस बिकॉज आप लोग बहुत बार मैसेज वैसेज नहीं करते हो, बट प्लीज कीप इन माइंड 1 mock test per week you will have to start taking now guys. Yes, मैं आपको बता दूं कि you need at least 30 mocks before calling yourself CAT ready. बूझे? Before saying you're ready for CAT, you need to take at least 30 mocks. You need to show some improvement in at least 30 mocks. And like I said, कोई भी डाउट हो, कहीं से भी डाउट हो, कैसा भी डाउट हो, किसी, you don't have to rely upon Quora, you don't have to rely upon unauthorized or untrustable sources for your solutions. आप अगर आपके किसी दोस्त को पूछोगे तो क्या बोलेगा, हाँ मतलब ये ऐसा ही है, इसका कोई एक्सप्लेनेशन नहीं है, ऐसा करोगे तो ऐसा आ जाएगा, बस ये आप रट्टा मार लो, एग्जाम में आएगा तो हो जाए, ऐसा नहीं चलता ना। दिस इज नॉट योर क्या बोलते हैं स्कूल का एग्जाम, है ना। तो लाइव डाउट क्लियरिंग सेशन में whatever doubts you have, you can definitely get them answered. Yes, for that all you have to do is download the Unacademy's learning app, pick up the 12-month or the 24-month because these are especially pretty economic. Yes, and if you use my code you would get the 12-month package for somewhere around 15K. तो आप सोच के देखिए 15,000 में पूरे साल का आपको इतना सारा कंटेंट, इतना सारा गाइडेंस। यस, एंड पोस्ट कैट भी, ये सिर्फ कैट के लिए नहीं। आप लोग सोच रहे हैं सर कैट तो हो गया बट बाकी का क्या, व्हाट अबाउट एनमैट, व्हाट अबाउट स्नैप, व्हाट अबाउट अदर सीईटीज एंड ऑल दैट, उसका क्या सर, उसका यही सोल्यूशन। यस, आपको कहीं बाहर जाके कहीं पर भी यू डोंट हैव टू पुट योर हेल्थ एट रिस्क बिकॉज ऑल ऑफ दिस वुड बी गिवन एट योर हाउस and with a 10% discount from my end. Yes, don't forget to use Surana Live when you subscribe to this. Yeah, I'm definitely hoping to hear from you further. Thank you so much Rajeshwar, thank you so much SK, you made my day now. Okay, चलो अब मैं निकलता हूँ। आई एम सॉरी फॉर टेकिंग अ लिटिल एक्स्ट्रा टाइम। अब बॉबी मैम की क्लास में जरूर जाना, आज बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग सेशन है ऑन वर्बल। ठीक है, मैं आपको वहां पे मैं देखने आऊंगा कि आप लोग हो कि नहीं। या All right, cool then. Thank you very much. Good night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.